terms of the attendance. So thank you very much. And as Dr. Monte Ahluwalia said, we'll still be absorbing many of the things that you have said. And so what I promise to do is, in order to help all of you do that, we'll put up a video on our website, and you'll be able to rehear a Nobel laureate speaking on growth. It's not every day that we get a Nobel laureate for a memorial lecture, so I think we will do that. Just before we came in, we were standing outside having tea, and this is evidence of Professor Spence's immodesty. And somebody came up to him and said, Professor Spence, what was your reaction when you heard that you were going to get the Nobel Prize? He said, I was surprised. Then he still pushed him. He wasn't satisfied. And said, well, I was shocked. And then he pushed him more. Okay, you don't want how did your wife react? Professor Spence said, she was mighty pleased. Well, I think we were all very pleased that you did get the Nobel Prize. And I remember, as students of economics in grad school, asymmetric information was a big topic, and your co-winners of the Nobel Prize were the three papers that we read, Akerlof's and yours on labor market signaling and Stiglitz. And your name became synonymous with the labor markets. So whenever we used to talk about labor markets, it was Professor Spence. So I'm really glad that I've been able to sit through this lecture, and we're very happy that you were able to. Forgive me. This is on the Nobel website, and it's a part of a longer speech, but I'll just quote a few sentences. When I was a graduate student in economics at Harvard, I had the privilege of serving as a rapporteur for a faculty seminar, this is Professor Spence writing, in the new Kennedy School of Government. Among other distinguished scholars, it included all of my thesis advisors. Who's who? Kenneth Arrow, Thomas Schelling, Richard Zeckhauser. Two of them, I believe, are also Nobel Prize winners. In the course of that seminar, there were discussions of statistical discrimination and many other subjects that relate to the incompleteness of information in markets. Anyway, so one of his advisors came to Professor Spence and said, I must give you this paper to read. And it turned out that the paper was George Akerlof's paper on lemons. And he read the paper, and I like this sentence that Professor Spence has written. He says, he just read the market for lemons because I always did what my advisors told me to do. And hence followed up immediately, and the rest, as they say, is history. And then we read, when I was in grad school, and many of my colleagues I see here, then we read the paper which appeared in the QJE, the Quarterly Journal, Job Market Signaling. And so, I'm really delighted, Professor Spence, that you've come here and given us a most fascinating lecture, which has just been said, we'll take a little more time to absorb. Thank you very much. But I haven't finished. I'm sorry. This is just for, I haven't finished. I have to thank many of the others. Just bear with me for a couple of more minutes. I have to also thank Dr. K.B. Lall and Dr. Ahluwalia. Ishar Ahluwalia has already mentioned what a visionary he was. But let me also thank the family who's sitting here. Dr. Rajiv Lall, Bunty hasn't been able to come, but Dr. Rajiv Lall is here. Thank you very much. Mr. and Mrs. Ashok Lall, Vinu Shah, Mr. and Mrs. Mike Pandey for being here, for joining us on this occasion. This is a biennial event, so it's very nice of you to come. And to the audience, and I see there are a number of distinguished people in this audience, and thank you very much for coming from ICRIER side. I thank all of you who worked very hard for the success of this event. It may seem that it's a 2-hour event, but it's 2.5-hour event, but it's taken months of planning to get this organized, and I must thank everybody who's been involved in this. Samriddhi, Tanu, Sanjana, they're all somewhere in the audience. You won't be able to spot them. There are these invisible people who work behind the scenes. They're all there. Manmeet, Kishan, Neha, thank you all very much for organizing this very successfully. And finally, I must also take this opportunity to thank our chairperson. She's always there, and it was her idea to get Michael Spence to come and give us this wonderful talk, which I think will remain etched in ICRIER's history. So thank you very much, and I hope all of you have a very pleasant evening. Thank you.